Not Okay on Hulu dropped this past week. Uh, Dave, was this movie better than okay to you?
That's a good question. I really wanted to talk about Not Okay just because it's been a light movie summer, bro. There hasn't been a lot of movies worth discussing. And when you get a Fox Searchlight movie handed to you via Hulu, you might as well check it out because they have a good track record. And they've actually been doing that a lot this year. We talked about Fresh with Sebastian Stan and Daisy Edgar Jones, but we didn't talk about Fire Island or Good Luck to You, Leo Grande, the Emma Thompson movie. So Searchlight via Hulu has been giving us a steady bit of batch of movies this year so far, which is cool to see, I guess. And latest is Not Okay, which is a satirical comedy starring Zoe Deutsch. And I went into it not really knowing what to expect. But I think it's an interesting movie for how it approaches its story. But yeah,
Mm.
does it exceed beyond being okay? Probably not, honestly, but I think the fact that it's at least a bit atypical in the type of storytelling it is something to admire. And I think Zoe Deutsch is very convincing as this character. She's honestly been really good ever since Set It Up blew up on Netflix several years ago with Glenn Powell. I think she's a really winning performer. In this case, she's playing a not winning character, but I think it just kind of speaks to her talent. She's quite charismatic.
Yeah, I agree. I think Zoe Deutsch is really good in this role. I thought the movie was definitely effective in hammering home the cringiness of people who pursue fame without for the wrong reasons. I guess was kind of
Yeah.
what it was driving home about. And I think more than anything, I walked away from this movie not only impressed with Deutsch's performance, but also Mia Isaac, who can't recall seeing in anything before,
Yeah.
but I thought she was just really strong as Rowan in this.
Kind of
And
a stand-in for some of those survivors of the Parkland shooting that became activists.
yes,
That type of character archetype.
and I thought the setup of the movie was really clever. And you just kind of see her continue to like lean into the lie, and you're just like, oh god, like why are you doing this? Oh no, like you just know it's gonna turn bad at some point. And I mean, there's certain things that I definitely could have done without. The whole like Colin Dylan O'Brien like stuff was like a little like it was funny. Like I thought he was really funny in this like douchebag
Yeah.
role, basically. But also just kind of left me wondering like what was this trying to say.
Mm.
And the
Yeah.
movie definitely ends at a point where it's trying to say something. I just don't know if it totally lands the plane on it. Um, but overall, I thought this movie was okay.
Yeah. This kind of reminded me of Mainstream, that Gia Coppola movie with Andrew Garfield we talked about in
Mm,
2020, where it's a movie trying to like say something about young like Gen Z culture specifically
yeah,
and not totally nailing it. I think this has a more accurate read on like just how those things work. You know, and I think probably the best aspect about Not Okay is that the way it ends, it doesn't redeem uh Danny Sanders, Zoe Deutsch's character. It
yes,
doesn't redeem Danny and like let her off the hook really in any way at all, which
mhm,
is kind of the big flaw of Dear Evan Hansen,
right,
as people would say. You know, it's like Danny is a scammer. She literally admits it at the end that she didn't really learn anything from this. And
mhm,
in this, on the other hand, it is a bit difficult to be with this character that you don't like immediately, and you see how oblivious or tone deaf she is about various things, right? Across just having whether it's opinions or privilege or whatever it is, right? You pick up on that all immediately, and then this character actually has no growth at all for the most part,
yeah,
and you're kind of stuck sitting with that and thinking about like what that is and what you're supposed to feel about that. And that's what I meant by like the kind of like atypical storytelling of Not Okay, because it's not often that you be with a unlikable protagonist and they don't redeem themselves in any manner like this. You know, it is supposed to be satirical and make you think about that. But do you think it like goes far enough with that? Because when we see the influencer party when we see everything with Dylan O'Brien. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you kind of get the take, you get the lampooning like immediately, right? And then after that, like, I don't know. I guess you're just kind of on for the ride. Maybe you don't have to think about it too deeply.
Yeah, I watched it with a group of people, and at the end, everybody was just kind of like, "That's it." And I think that's kind of how I felt. Like it could have gone a little bit further, and that's why I don't know if it totally landed the plane. I really thought the spoken word piece at the end was really strong, but the movie almost ends like so abruptly that it's like it asks the audience to do a little bit more work. Um, and I don't know. I definitely got the message and really liked that it wasn't just like her like walking away crying and like we don't see her like learn anything. We're just like, oh, she's just always going to be like this. But I also just don't know if it felt fully like baked in terms of how it was trying to get the message across. I do also feel like this like I guess it's supposed to be like a what like up rocks like BuzzFeed environment.
Yes, Vice
Like
perhaps. Distractify is the name.
yeah, it's this
Sorry, no, not Stratify. That's a real thing.
depravity,
Yeah.
yeah. Distractify actually almost would have been better, I think. Um, it's this like similarly, like kind of like half baked. Like you have like these people there who at the beginning are like, "We're going to an LGBTQ night and you can't come." Like obviously just not liking her, but like they're like kind of setting these characters up around there, but none of them ever really get to do much except for Colin, who's like the douchebag on screen talent. And
Yep.
and I guess not. I don't know if her name is Nadia. Nadia Alexander is the actress who approaches her and is like gonna out her lie. Like, but none of them are fully formed beyond
Yeah.
that. And I don't know.
I also thought the portrayal of a Vice BuzzFeed s workplace was a bit 2015,
Yeah.
whereas like it was almost like combining like tech company office with
Mm,
online journalism, which is actually just not that accurate anymore
mm.
if you understand the unfortunate economics of journalism these days. Like this actually doesn't feel like a real
Right.
a real work environment at all actually.
Yeah.
um Nonetheless, I think still at least makes you think a little bit. You get a Rico Nasty drop over some kickball. You get Avril Lavigne sing along. Like I said, Zoe Deutsch, very likable. Dylan
Hmm.
O'Brien has many stands. Those people were happy. Even got my guy Karen Sony in a very thankless role as Danny's fellow photo editor at the office. He's like only a few lines, but yeah, it's just all right, I guess. And I wonder what the Searchlight strategy is since becoming owned by Disney and the Fox deal. This year they've released some stuff on Hulu, and obviously, I guess this is the stuff they acquire but don't expect to be awards contenders, so they put it out earlier in the year via Hulu. Just a new strategy, I guess. But hey, I mean, like I said, there hasn't been a whole lot of movies of note past few months, so we gotta talk about them
Nope.
when we get them.